it's me, the giggler. They say that laughter is the best medicine. Well, my laughter's going to make AJ and his gang of clockwatchers sick. I'm going to send them on a mission through time which they can't possibly accomplish. And when they fail, and they will, the laugh will be on them. Oh, I needed that.
Time, the most precious treasure in the universe. Our mission? To explore it. To travel through history, unraveling its mysteries, unlocking its secrets, unleashing its energy. Knowledge is power.
Well, it's a great big world. And it's been around a long, long time.
AJ Time Travelers, traveling through history, unlocking its secrets.
The ring is the key.
AJ Time Travelers,
Question unravelers.
knowledge is power. AJ Time Travelers.
Wish me luck, Mother. I'm off to service the septic tank.
The septic tank! Ooh. I sure hope he brings me back a doggy bag.
You be careful, dear.
If I'm not back in 2 weeks, don't flush.
Hey, Dad. Whoa, septic tank time again already?
Just clearing it out for the holidays.
Well, I hope you're done by Sunday in time for the big picnic.
Is that this Sunday? Oh, I'm sorry, son. I'll be out of town at a Trekkie convention. I've already bought my Spock ears.
But, Dad,
AJ, I'll go to the picnic with you.
it's a father-son thing. No one else is bringing their mom.
Don't sell your mother short, son. When it comes to the three-legged race, she's a genius.
Thanks anyway, Mom, but I don't think I'll go this year.
Well, if you change your mind.
I'll let you know.
Oh, well. Time to take the plunge.
Commander, the Giggler's been spotted wearing brown shoes with a black suit.
He'll do anything for a laugh. Prepare the ship for my arrival.
You heard the man, let's hop to it. Where's Bit?
She's in the shop for repairs.
It was touch and go for a minute there, but she's got all new hoses and belts, and her computer chips are in the chips.
Thank you, Isidore. You have a very nice bit-side manner.
Maintenance completed, sir. The Kairos awaits.
Kairos, take me away.
Ciencias Potencia!
Knowledge is power!
All set, Commander?
Ready to go, Maria.
Commander on the bridge.
Good to see you guys.
Commander, I've never been happier to see a person in my life.
Me too, unless a fire hydrant counts as people.
I'm here to help. What seems to be the problem?
I seem to be the problem, but my mother taught me to always share. So I'm going to share my problem with you.
Oh, he's a riot, Alice. A regular riot. Hardy har har har.
Oh, it only hurts when I laugh.
Keep laughing, Giggler.
I'll keep them laughing. See, there were these two ducks and a rabbi.
Heard it. Now here's one for you. I've got a riddle just tickling my ribs, and I hope it tickles yours too.
Cut to the riddle, Giggler.
Okay, I want you to suspend yourselves back in time. Spend the ages and answer this. What can carry you a great distance but never moves? If you can't answer my riddle, you never move again.
I'll give him something to laugh at. The maggots get a real kick out of that one.
What can carry you a great distance but never moves? What's he talking about?
I know. How about a horse?
Izzy, a horse moves.
Oh, yeah. How about a dead horse?
Oh, Izzy, a dead horse can't carry you anywhere.
You guys are gonna have to lower your standards if you're gonna want to solve this one.
But what if we can't solve this one? How are we gonna keep the giggler from putting us in that box?
Maria, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
AJ, give your brain a high five. You've solved the problem.
I did?
Of course. The giggler said to suspend ourselves back in time, span the ages, and find something that would carry us a great distance but never moves. He wants us to go back in history and learn about a bridge.
But which one?
Well, for bridge aficionados, there's only one, the eighth wonder of the modern world, the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah! Bit, coordinate the cities.
Destination locked in.
Brooklyn, New York, 1883.
I'm wearing one of those patches for travel sickness.
How's it working?
Great. I'm really nauseous.
Oh, goody. Here comes dinner.
I hope.
Maria, contact the time tower. We're ready to blast into the past.
Time Tower, this is the Kairos, requesting clearance to 1883.
Roger that, Kairos. Yo, so you're going back to Brooklyn, huh? My hometown. The Brooklyn Dodgers, my home team. They're going all the way this year.
Pulse, the Dodgers haven't been in Brooklyn since 1957.
Oh, then they're gonna have to make up a lot of home games.
Can you clear us?
Remember the rules of time travel. You can only go back in time as observers, and you are forbidden from changing, altering, varying, spindling, or otherwise mutilating the course of history. Do you understand?
We understand.
Oh, okie dokie, hokey pokey, righty then. You're clear, direct to 1883. Taxi to passenger entry platform 227. And no matter what anybody tells you, the Brooklyn Bridge is not for sale.
Let's make time tracks.
Prepare for arrival.
Hey, yo, listen up. On the planet Earth, on the continent of North America, lies Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs or sections of New York City. Someday it'll be famous for the Brooklyn Academy of Music, the Brooklyn Museum, the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, but starting tomorrow, it'll be famous for the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1883. Gateway to 1884.
AJ, my boy, now that we've landed on the sidewalks of New York, let me tell you about the east side, the west side, and all around the towns. After the Civil War, 2 of the biggest cities in America were less than a mile from each other. But this was before the age of telephones, fax machines, and electric lights. And the only way to get from one to the other was by ferry, across the treacherous East River. But ferry traffic was slow and often stopped entirely due to fog, ice, and storms. The 2 cities might as well have been thousands of miles apart. But all this would change because one man had a dream. He was standing in a bunny suit in the school library, and he hadn't studied for his test, and all the other kids were all laughing because he was wearing wax lips. What? Oh, I'm sorry. That was my dream. What a nightmare! German-born John Roebling's dream, on the other hand, was to build a bridge joining the 2 great cities. It would have to be the longest suspension bridge ever built, high enough for ships to pass under, and strong enough to withstand the winds that can tear a bridge apart. No one had ever attempted to build a suspension bridge this long. It seemed impossible. And then the man who designed the bridge, John Roebling, died, and it seemed harder still. Fortunately, his son was still around to keep the dream alive.
Here he is, the son of the designer of the Brooklyn Bridge.
The chief engineer who got New Yorkers from there to here.
The man who had 3 words of advice for people who couldn't cross the East River.
Get over it!
Colonel
Washington Roebling!
Hello. I'm Washington Roebling.
Welcome aboard, Colonel Roebling.
We've zipped in from the future to learn about your amazing feat.
No, oh no, sorry, I am a very busy man. I can't possibly.
You know, there's something funny about this guy.
That's because he is a she. Isn't that right, Mrs. Roebling?
Oh dear. Okay, you found me out. I'm not Colonel Roebling. I'm Emily Warren Roebling, his wife.
How come your husband couldn't come today?
Oh, he's sick. He contracted a very strange disease when he was laying the foundations for the bridge.
So, for the past 10 years, Mrs. Roebling has been supervising the biggest engineering project in America.
That's really impressive. How come you don't want anybody to know about it?
Oh, well, it just isn't done.
You have to remember, AJ, this is 1883. Very different from our time. In polite society, it's considered not nice for women to work, let alone supervise a multi-million-dollar engineering project being built by thousands of men.
Precisely. It would be so unladylike.
Hey! Where are those boxes? They should have been here by now! Hey, come on, we're on the clock here. You don't want this job. I got 10 other guys that do.
Now, where was I?
Oh. You were telling us how a delicate lady like yourself couldn't possibly supervise the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Can you at least tell us something about the bridge?
Well, I suppose I could give you a few little tidbits of information. This way, please.
What's your problem?
No problem. Oh, dainty one.
Thank you. As I was saying, 4 steel cables hold up a span of 1,595 feet between 2 towers extending 276.5 feet from the East River, give or take a few feet depending on the tide.
My brain sprained its ankle.
Keep up with me, will ya? Anyway, it is the longest suspension bridge in the world.
And it will remain so for almost 20 years. In our time, however, the Humber Bridge in England will become the longest suspension bridge in the world.
Wow, it'll have a main span almost 3 times longer than the Brooklyn Bridge.
3 times longer than our bridge.
You take that back!
I may have my facts a little wrong.
Why do they call it a suspension bridge anyway?
My, fascinating question. And what an inquisitive young man you are. But you see, my dainty female brain is simply too petite to hold that kind of manly information.
Come on, more hours, and I'm not paying you guys to sit around!
Now, let's build a suspension bridge, shall we? Watch closely.
Mrs. Roebling, I already know how to build a bridge.
Oh, well, why don't you share with us, Izzy?
It's easy. You go down to the river, find someone who's already building a bridge, then do exactly what they do.
Is eating dynamite bad? Didn't think so.
Now, let's say this is New York.
This is New York.
This is Brooklyn. And this is the East River.
Where's the Empire State Building? Where are the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center? Where are all the skyscrapers?
Sky Waters?
AJ, my boy, this is 1883. Skyscrapers haven't been invented yet.
Would you be a dear and go and get the towers from that crate over there?
I'm sorry, did you say something to me?
Oh, thank you ever so. Yes, and now when we were building the bridge, of course, we could not just pick up a couple of towers and place them in the river. We had to build the towers up from underneath the river bed. There, you see? Now, would you get me?
Wow, those look really heavy.
The anchorages must be heavy so they can anchor the 4 giant cables that hold up the bridge. That's why they weigh 60,000 tons!
That's 120 million pounds. Now it's time for the cables.
The Brooklyn Bridge's 4 cables are actually made from 14,000 miles of steel wire, spun together by workers. Each cable is strong enough to carry almost 25 million pounds without breaking. More steel wires called suspenders come down from the cables, and the roadway hangs from these suspenders. These workers, many of them sailors and shipriggers, dangle dangerously above the treacherous East River as they work.
Wow, look at this.
Oh, this old thing just a little something I threw together.
I get it. It's called a suspension bridge because the roadway is suspended or hung from these cables.
I've got to run. The bridge opens tomorrow. I have a million things to do. Sew some curtains, bake some brownies, lay the final timbers on the road surface.
A woman's work is never done.
Tata! Lovely chatting with you.
Emily Roebling is really an unsung hero of the Brooklyn Bridge.
And American history. If Mrs. Roebling hadn't courageously stepped up to bat for her sick husband, the world would never have had this. The Brooklyn Bridge, a work of art and a marvel of modern technology. Every step of its creation was an engineering breakthrough. It was also an inspiration for the men and women coming to America to make a new home. The sight of the Brooklyn Bridge, designed and built by people who came from other countries, made them believe that in their new home, anything was possible.
Anything except defeating me. Time for the giggler to have the last laugh.
Okay, Giggler, we solved your riddle. A bridge carries people long distances and doesn't move.
The riddle was just an appetizer. Let's get to the main course. I'm going to ask you some questions, Commander, about your trip back in time. And if you can't answer them, you'll be bouncing in this box instead of me. Won't that be a hoot? Question 1. What 2 cities does the Brooklyn Bridge connect?
When the Brooklyn Bridge was finished in 1883, it connected New York and Brooklyn. But the bridge brought the 2 towns so close together that now they're one city.
You're right. That one was too easy, but it won't happen again. Question 2. Why do they call the Brooklyn Bridge a suspension bridge?
Because the roadway hangs or is suspended from giant steel cables.
You've answered 2 questions correctly, but the 3rd time won't be the charm. Question 3. What is the longest suspension bridge in the world?
Well, in 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge was the longest suspension bridge in the world. But today, it's,
You won't get this one, Commander.
Think, AJ, think!
Why are you guys humming? Hum! The Humber Bridge in England is the longest suspension bridge in the world. Its main span is almost 3 times as long as the Brooklyn Bridge's. But it still uses the same engineering principles that the Roeblings pioneered a century ago.
You're laughing now, but remember, he who laughs last laughs best. No, not the box. It smells like mothballs. Oh, my leg's falling asleep.
Commander, you saved the Kairos again.
That's right. You've skirted the shoals of danger and brought us into a harbor of safety.
Whatever he said goes double for me.
And here is all the knowledge we've gathered on this mission.
Let it bridge the gaps in your education, AJ.
Bit, full speed ahead. Destination, home. Commander's Journal. Subject, the Brooklyn Bridge. It took 3 members of the Roebling family to complete this awesome project, all working together and learning from each other. I've learned that, as corny as it may sound, pitching in and helping each other is what family is all about. Hey, Mom, got a minute?
For you, AJ, always.
I've been thinking, and I'd be really proud to have you come with me to the father-son picnic.
That's sweet. Are you sure you won't be embarrassed to be there with your mom?
I don't embarrass that easily.
Another job well done. A clean septic tank is a happy septic tank.
No, dear, I guess you don't.